Welcome to today's podcast. I'm your host, and I'm really excited about our topic. Today, we're talking about something that affects almost every country in the world: population aging. It's a topic that's becoming more and more important, but not everyone knows what it really means or why it matters. To help me talk about this, I've invited two special guests, Bob and Alice. Let's start by introducing ourselves. Bob, why don't you go first?
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Bob, and I'm really interested in social issues, especially when it comes to big changes in society. I work as a teacher, so I'm always talking to students about how the world is changing. This topic of population aging is something I've noticed a lot in the news, so I'm looking forward to talking about it today.
Hi, everyone. I'm Alice. I work in healthcare, so I often see the effects of population aging in my job. I help older people in my community, and I've seen how much care they need as they get older. It's a really interesting and important topic, so I'm excited to be here and talk about it.
Thanks for those great introductions, Bob and Alice. It sounds like we have two people with a lot of experience on this topic. So let's dive in. Alice, can you start by explaining what population aging is? Why is this such a big issue?
Sure. Population aging happens when more people in a country or in the world are getting older, while the number of younger people is getting smaller. So, we have a lot of people living longer lives because of better healthcare, but we also have fewer babies being born. Over time, this means the population is getting older, and there aren't as many young people to balance it out.
That's a really clear explanation, Alice. Bob, can you add more to that? Why is this happening in so many countries?
Absolutely. Like Alice said, people are living longer now because we have better medicine, better hospitals, and overall better health systems. In the past, people didn't live as long because we didn't have the technology or knowledge we have today. But now, with vaccinations, treatments for diseases, and better diets, people are living well into their 70s, 80s, and even 90s.
Yes, exactly. And on the other side of things, we're seeing that people are having fewer children. In many countries, families are choosing to have 1 or 2 children, instead of big families with 5 or 6 kids like in the past.
That's interesting. So we have two big changes: people living longer and people having fewer children. Why do you think people are choosing to have smaller families, Alice?
Well, there are a few reasons. One reason is that in many countries, women are working more now than they did in the past. They might wait longer to have children because they're focusing on their careers first. Also, raising children is expensive. In some places, parents have to spend a lot of money on education, healthcare, and housing for their kids. That makes some families think twice about having more than 1 or 2 children.
I agree. Also, in many parts of the world, people are moving to cities where life is busier and more expensive. In cities, it's harder to have big families because people live in smaller apartments and don't have as much space. This can also make people decide to have fewer children.
That makes a lot of sense. So, we understand why populations are aging, but why is it a problem? Shouldn't we be happy that people are living longer?
Yes, it's definitely good that people are living longer and staying healthy. But the problem comes when there aren't enough young people to support the older generation. Older people need a lot of help as they age. They need more healthcare, more support, and sometimes help with everyday activities like cooking or going to the store. If there are fewer young people, there aren't enough people to provide these services.
That's right. And it's not just about physical help. There's also the financial side. In many countries, young people work and pay taxes, and that money is used to help care for the older population, especially through things like healthcare and pensions. But if the number of young workers goes down, there's less money available to support older people.
That's a really important point. So, fewer workers means less money for important services, and this can affect everyone. Are there countries already facing this problem?
Yes, one of the most well-known examples is Japan. Japan has one of the oldest populations in the world. Many people in Japan are over 65 years old, and they don't have enough young people to take care of them. The government is trying to figure out ways to help with this, but it's a big challenge.
Other countries like Italy and Germany are also facing this issue. Even in the US, we're starting to see more older people than before. These countries are trying to find solutions, but it's not easy.
So, it sounds like this is a global problem. What are some of the solutions that countries are trying to help with population aging?
One solution is to encourage families to have more children. In some countries, the government gives money or offers free childcare to help parents. This makes it easier for families to have more kids because they know they'll have support.
Another idea is to let more immigrants into the country. Immigrants are usually younger, and they can help balance the population. They can work, pay taxes, and support the economy, which helps take care of the aging population.
That's a good point. So, encouraging more children and allowing more immigration are two possible solutions. What about technology? Can that help with population aging?
Definitely. Technology can help a lot. There are robots now that can assist older people with tasks around the house, like cleaning or reminding them to take their medicine. And healthcare technology is improving too. For example, older people can use apps to talk to their doctors online instead of going to the hospital, which makes things easier for them.
And technology isn't just for healthcare. It can help older people stay connected to their families and friends, which is really important for their mental health. Things like video calls and social media can make a big difference for older people who might feel lonely.
Staying connected is definitely important. And what about in the workplace? Can older people keep working longer?
Yes, many older people want to keep working. Some companies are creating jobs that are perfect for older workers, like part-time or work-from-home positions. This helps older people stay active and feel useful, and it also helps the economy because they continue to contribute.
And more companies are starting to realize that older workers have a lot of experience. They might not work as fast as younger workers, but they have years of knowledge that can be really valuable.
That's a great point, Alice. So, it seems like there are a lot of ways to help with population aging, but it's still a big challenge. Do you think we'll find good solutions in the future?
I think we can, but it will take time. Countries need to start planning now if they want to avoid problems later. Governments, businesses, and people all need to work together to come up with smart solutions.
I agree. The world is changing fast, and we have to keep up. If we start working on these problems now, we can make sure that everyone, both young and old, is taken care of in the future.
Well said, both of you. Thank you, Bob and Alice, for sharing your thoughts today. It's clear that population aging is something we all need to think about because it affects everyone, no matter where we live. I hope our listeners learned a lot from this discussion.
Thanks for having me. It was a really interesting conversation.
Yes, thank you. I enjoyed talking about this topic. And thank you, listeners, for joining us today. We hope you found this conversation helpful and learned something new about population aging. Stay tuned for more interesting topics in our next episode. Goodbye for now.
Before we wrap up, let's go over a few multiple-choice questions.
What is the main reason for population aging? A. People are living longer and more babies are being born. B. People are living longer and fewer babies are being born. C. People are having more children and living shorter lives. D. The population is staying the same. The correct answer is B. Which country is mentioned as having one of the oldest populations in the world? A. Germany. B. The United States. C. Japan. D. Italy. The correct answer is C. What is one solution mentioned to help balance the aging population? A. Allowing more people to retire earlier. B. Encouraging families to have more children. C. Reducing healthcare for older people. D. Asking older people to work full-time jobs. The correct answer is B.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this content, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. We'd love to hear your thoughts, so feel free to leave a comment below.